Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. You got to stay true to yourself. It's definitely a lesson that I've learned over the years. It's easy to lose ourselves when we constantly seek validation from others. We can find ourselves changing into people that we normally wouldn't be. We find ourselves doing things that we normally wouldn't do. We can find ourselves believing things. You can change your beliefs just to fit in, just to be validated from others. We often look at acceptance and validation as a form of love. When people accept and validate us, accept us in the group, we feel loved. It's just an animalistic nature that we have. You got to stay true to yourself. I've gone through this in my past where I've felt like I've lost who I was. It's happened to me more than once. One of the times that it happened to me was in a relationship with a woman. We were engaged and living together and very wrapped up in this fantasy of soulmates, you know. And we were kind of inseparable, joined at the hip, joint bank accounts, spent all the time together. Unless we were working, but most of the time together. Obsessed over each other. I ended up losing my personality, so to speak. I mean, I was just an extension of her. By the time that relation fizzled out and we broke up, and we broke up in a very stormy way, I found myself lost. After we broke up, I remember walking the streets just kind of feeling like, geez, I mean, I'm just a shell of who I used to be. I had to go and reconnect with some old friends just to remind me of the person that I used to be. And I told myself, you know, I don't want to get so wrapped up in chasing someone else's validation or acceptance or love to where I give up aspects of myself that make me who I am. Another time where I gave up parts of myself was when I moved down to LA from the Central Coast of California, and I was kind of starting over. And when you start over, you get a new apartment, you get a new job, you move to a new town, you make new friends. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. And I was also kind of trying to make my exit from the streets. It was time to get out. I was involved in some really heavy-duty crimes. And I realized, you know, I got to treat this game like a fucking bathroom. Get in, get out, do your business, bada bing, bada boom, you know, and get the fuck out of there. The guys who stay in there too long end up just stinking. They turn rotten just like this shit in there, you know. I realized I've been in the game too long. I've been chasing this gangster fantasy too long. I got to straighten out. And part of that included a new lifestyle, a new set of values, chasing virtue instead of chasing vice. I had to go through some major transformations. When you do that, you lose a part of yourself. And I became ashamed of certain aspects of myself that I had a hard time losing. My temper. I had a hard time getting rid of my temper. Because I could get really angry. And even though I was working on myself and become a better person and not engaged in any criminal activity anymore, not hanging out with gangs anymore, I was going to college, getting an education, working at a regular job, trying to make normal friends. I still had certain aspects of my persona that I was ashamed of, that I just felt stuck with. I was quick to get aggressive, still am. I had a criminal mind. I felt like I was maybe possessed by a demon, not literally, because I'm not, you know, tribalistic like that. You know, I don't believe in possessions. And I've studied a little bit of that stuff. It's really weird Look into, if you're interested, just as a side note, look into some of these fucking possession videos and see what you think. You think they're bullshitting, they're acting, or is that real? I've had a hard time telling. I like to see people's motivations, and I thought maybe that stuff was just fake. I think it is. It could be a mental illness of some kind. But I truly thought that I was kind of possessed because I couldn't stop thinking about criminal activity. I would think about committing crimes all day long, working at my regular little jobby job, hanging out with my regular little friends, and I'm just sitting here off in the distance of my head thinking about pulling jobs, pulling robberies, thinking about all kinds of stuff, thinking about enemies, how to kill enemies, how to hide bodies, all kinds of stuff. And I just felt like I was a bad person. I tried really hard to pretend to be as normal as I could, as straight-laced and presentable as a normal civilian, normal person as I could possibly be. I felt like I was a little crazy and was ashamed of that and wanted to try to be as normal as I could be. I was going to a psychiatrist, and he's a really interesting character. He helped save my life. I'm not against psychiatry. A lot of men out there are against psychiatry. That's a weird head trip that you've been convinced into. I'm not trying to say everybody needs to go see one. All I'm saying is it helped me, and I would go again in an instant if I was ever at that stage of weakness. Because to me, it's like a doctor, except for it's for your mind. If I had a broken arm, I'm going to the doctor. If I just got a little cut, I own a metal fabrication shop. I get little cuts all the time. I'm not going to the doctor if I got a little cut. I've had some big cuts. I'm still not going to the doctor. With a broken arm, I'm definitely going. You're damn right. There's certain things you definitely go, and you'd be stupid not to. Anybody you meet, they'd just be like, even like a crazy homeless person would be like, dude, go to the doctor. So I just look at it like that. I'm not trying to convince you into doing something you don't want to do, but I was going to see a psychiatrist, and he had mentioned to me, you know, I see a lot of patients all day long. This is a very successful psychiatrist in Los Angeles, down in Santa Monica. And he was just like, you know, a lot of men that I talk to have masculinity issues. But you don't. You seem like a pretty tough guy and you're able to handle yourself. A lot of men I talk to can't handle themselves and are emasculated, feel like wimps, feel scared. All you need to do is tame that inner monster of yours, and I mean, you're a step ahead of the game. So don't be ashamed of that monster within you, that demon that you think lives in you. Don't be ashamed of that. Be proud that you have that. Be thankful that you have that. That is going to help you survive. You just need to tame it. And he was mentioning some of the other qualities. You know, he's like, you have a toughness that you got in the streets, a sort of rebelliousness that allows you to work around the rules when you want to, when you feel like you need to or righteous enough that you have to. It's like I could recognize that if you really needed to get a job done and it was really important to you, you figure out a way, even if it meant breaking the law or committing some sort of sin. He was telling me, I talked to a lot of guys who could never do that. And they go their whole lives without a certain level of success because they're not willing to be rebellious. They don't have that inner rebel in them. Successful people are rebellious. Don't be ashamed of being a rebel. And I took that shit to heart, and I realized, you know, I'm going to stop trying to be someone I'm not. I'm going to stop trying to let go of qualities that I'm ashamed of and be proud of that shit. It's not a question of getting rid of some of these negative qualities. It's a question of taming them, using them for my benefit. It's all just food for thought. Thanks for watching.